Come with me as I turn this mess of a garden bed into a beautiful raised bed garden. All right, we're back. We're turning this area into a raised bed garden area. Last week we were out here, we measured the bed out, we figured out what sizes of raised planters we were gonna need. We got those ordered from planterboxdirect.com, and then as we're waiting, the first step was we cleaned up all of the annual weeds that were left over in this bed. This week we are tackling the perennial weeds. So the perennial weeds that we deal with most here on our farm in West Central Missouri are things like crabgrass and Johnsongrass and the poison hemlock. And poison hemlock, if you're not familiar, it looks very similar to Queen Anne's lace, only it's got a thicker stalk on it. It is a perennial that comes back every year. It has sort of purple blotches on the stem, and it actually can be really, really irritating to people's skin. It also reproduces like wildfire. That is a problem here. So the first step with getting rid of these perennial weeds is really to do what we did first, which was to rake out the area, get as much of the loose stuff up as we could, and get all the annual weeds out of the way. Now I can see what is remaining, and a lot of it is this grass, right? And it's very thick, and it has a pretty deep taproot to it. We also do have some of the basal rosettes, or the first year growth of the hemlock plants over here against the fence area. We're also going to have to dig that out because it also does have a very deep taproot. It is in the Apiaceae family, or the carrot family. So we're going to try to get as much of that out as possible. And then we're going to do sort of some layer mulching over top of this, or some lasagna mulch, however you want to call it. And no matter how much mulch we lay down, some of these perennial weeds are very, very strong in their growth. They can also remain dormant for an extended period of time. So even if I put a good layer of cardboard down and then we put a good layer of wood mulch over top, those are organic mulches. So they're going to break down a little bit over time, which is going to give these perennial weeds an opportunity to kind of poke through and come through. And once the mulch is down, it's going to make it easier to see those perennial weeds as they pop up. And so it won't be nearly as bad, and I don't have to be as extreme in my measures and trying to get rid of this. So let's get to work. Coffee always helps. So with perennial weeds, we want to get as much of the root as possible. A lot of the time, these are very basic fine roots, and they're pretty easy to get up. And this won't generally come back again, unless it was able to go to seed and reseed itself. But when we're looking at some of these perennial weeds, a lot of them are going to have rhizomes in the bottom, and the problem with that is if you leave even the tiniest piece in the soil, it can reproduce from there. So what we can't get by hand, we're going to go back and we're going to actually dig up. For now, we're just going to keep yanking. So this isn't looking half bad. Thankfully, we hit this at just the right time. Most of what I was able to pull out by hand came out pretty easy. We do have a couple of other spots over here where I am definitely going to have to get in with the hand trowel. These are our most stubborn weeds, right? We've got some actual trees that are trying to grow out of here. We've also got some of this hemlock over here that needs to come out, and a few perennial grasses. There's a stretch along here that I'll worry about later, but all in all, this hasn't been too bad. By the magic of hyperlapse video, you just saw about an hour and 15 minutes worth of work condensed down to about 2 minutes. The thing about a project like this is it can look really overwhelming when you just kind of look at it from the beginning, right? And what is it they say? If you don't know where to start at the beginning. You know, it really is true. Just pick a spot, right? And then just do like what I did. do a section at a time, right? Even if you only work for 15 minutes, you kind of look back and you see, oh, I actually got something accomplished. And so that gives you a little bit more motivation to get back out there the next time. Even if you only set a 15-minute timer and say, I'm going to do what I can for 15 minutes. And you get out there and you do it, you can look around and realize, yeah, you're actually making progress. So again, this took about an hour and 15 minutes. If you add that on to the previous effort of getting the annual weeds out, then you're probably looking at about 2 hours, 2.5 hours worth of work. If I were not turning this into raised bed gardens, this is the point at which I would be taking a soil test, and I would be laying my amendments down and then putting down a really heavy layer of straw mulch and just putting the beds to bed for the winter. That way, in a few months, I could come back when it was time to plant and just separate that straw mulch and go ahead and start planting my rows. It would be ready for me to go and start gardening immediately in the spring without having to do a whole lot of extra work, and I could focus on my other beds. But since that's no longer the plan, the next thing we're going to do after I get these stubborn perennial weeds out, we are going to do some sheet mulching. So let's go ahead and finish this up, and then we will move on to our next task. You know, it's always handy to be able to identify what you've got in your garden, especially if it's something that grows like natively. But sometimes it's just too hard to tell, and whatever it is, you gotta get rid of it. I think that's about all I can muster for today. It's been, about 2 hours or so, maybe less, working on this today. Sun's starting to go down. We got really lucky. We had a beautiful day. Not going to be so lucky for the next week to 10 days. So next we will come out and we will start with layering down our sheet mulch. We will begin with layering down the cardboard that we have gathered up that we're going to go ahead and use as our base while we are waiting for our Planter Box Direct beds to be delivered. So now we're going to start with our sheet mulch. Now the sheet mulch is going to do a couple of things. Number one, it is going to completely smother anything that we didn't get out of this bed. The first layer, or the first sheet, we'll think of it as our fitted sheet, right, is going to be cardboard. This is something that is going to be heavy enough to keep some of the weeds down. It's going to block the light, and it's also going to block some of the moisture from coming in. So this is going to help prevent any of the annual weed seeds that are already in here from popping up. The other thing that it's going to do is help to prevent those perennial weeds that probably are still existing under the soil right now from pushing up and through. Now the cardboard by itself is not going to be enough to do that. We can put some heavy layers down, but then we're going to have to put the second sheet, or the top sheet, onto our bed, right? And that is going to be wood mulch. We thankfully have access to a very large amount of wood chips that are being delivered from a local company because they're doing work in the area and they need some place to dump it. And so we are taking full advantage of that. So I'm super grateful that we have access to these chips. So we're going to start by using our cardboard and just laying out a really good fitted sheet layer across all of this, trying to make sure that we're overlapping and not allowing any light in. Let's go. Okay, so that's one round done. I gotta go refill the mule with some more cardboard and come back and keep going. Okay, so we're back with the second load. I'm gonna turn you around and show you what we got. There's the mule. Let's go. All right, one more really big load on the mule and I think we'll have what we need. Okay, so that took longer than expected. It is winter in Missouri after all, and a lot of this stuff is actually frozen together. So I am hoping that I have enough of this load to be able to finish off this area. If not, we're just gonna have to make do because we gotta get rolling to the next step. So let's go. All right, that has taken us about 45 minutes to include having to load back and forth, and now comes the part that sort of transforms this into what looks like more of a usable space. I'm gonna grab my husband and get him to get the tractor and start dumping the wood chips down, and I can start spreading them out. Now, could I get the tractor myself? Absolutely, but he really likes playing on the tractor, so I'm gonna let him have this one. And the funny thing is, as I'm recording this, I can hear the beeping and see the truck. We're getting more wood chips delivered, so I mean, perfect timing, right? Okay, so the answer to the reason of why we didn't put the beds in place first before putting down the mulch is probably kind of obvious at this point. It was much easier to use the tractor to be able to get this moved in. Now, obviously, I know most people don't have a tractor and they're not using that amount of wood chips, but if you have the bed of your truck and then you're moving it from the bed of the truck into a wheelbarrow and you're coming in to dump it out, it still might be easier to just dump it all and layer it out before putting the beds in place. The second part of that is we're going to use some of this wood chip mulch at the base of our raised planters anyway as we start to fill them. So the next step here is to go ahead and get those beds in place. We'll come back out and we will position them where they need to go. We'll actually assemble them just in place and zhuzh them down. That's a technical term. Zhuzh them down into this wood mulch. So we're already going to have a good inch or two at the bottom of those beds to start the filling process, and then we'll continue to layer from there. So it was just easier to do it this way. Your results may vary. All right, make sure you come back next time, like and subscribe so that you know when the next episode drops. We will come out here, we will put those beds in place, and then we will get them filled and ready to go for the spring. See you then.